is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Still holds up after all these years.
Oh yeah, episode 107. I'm Jake. That's Tyler.
Hi.
The man that just screeched at us. We actually surprisingly have a pretty
Good screeching. Oh,
yeah, good screeching. That's our new
surprisingly
catchphrase.
good screecher.
No, I was surprised at all the news we had this week.
Yeah.
It was a pretty solid week. I had to actually make some changes to the rundown. But so no of the RoboCop Palooza and none of that stuff.
Son of a bitch.
But I will say,
Oh, you know what? We also can't do What's in My Mouth Thriller.
you forgot again, didn't you?
No, it's all in my car.
Oh, I mean, we could do it
Okay.
if you want.
It's a couple of different Cheetos flavors that I haven't tried yet. The Reaper and the
That sounds like it's gonna
habanero.
burn my beehole.
Well, we're talking like one each. One Cheeto each, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about let's eat the bag.
Why not? What's
'Cause
stopping us?
I genuinely care for
Our
and
health?
like to take care of my beehole.
That's true. You never want to live life with a rough beehole.
No.
I feel like there's
You
just
know-
some things because you want a beehole so nice that someone would look at you and say,
I'll eat your ass.
you know, it's really funny, and it just shows you that you can't ever win with this stuff, with technology, especially audio production. We couldn't hear the sounds from the soundboard, but they were playing. So the eat your ass joke worked.
There's been a bunch of times.
But regardless, it's all fixed. Episode 107. You'd think after 106 episodes, we'd have it down, but here we are.
Well,
Anyway.
somebody had to go and take the show on the road.
You know, I like doing the.
You know, you should put tape,
I like doing the.
press this button.
I like doing the road shows.
But you learned a bunch of stuff when we were paused while you figured that out. You learned a couple of things.
You know what it is, too? It's usually the thing of like, it's Occam's razor. It's literally just a button press. And that's what happened. We fixed it. Board is working now.
Interesting story. I worked in cable for a while, and they trained us for like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, just remember, one of the big things that they instilled in us, hey, don't be afraid to ask if their fucking TV is on. And they played us this call from somebody, and this person literally is working with this customer for like 10 minutes. Da 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 da. And at the end of it, it's basically like, hey, I actually haven't turned on my TV. It's been off this whole time. And like, it's just like,
you know what else? Sometimes that is, you know what the simplest solutions are? Is just rebooting stuff. Great example, and this
restarting
is
your phone.
By the way,
is
stop
so-
hitting your
Is that really loud?
Yeah, I was popping.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
this is
about
just
my head.
this is just the old man podcast now.
I was giving the
but
audience head.
funny example. My other DC dude, the DC duo, Luke and I, for Drawn to DC, we want to do a special episode where we review the video game Gotham Knights. We were playing it the other night. Literally last night we were playing, and my internet just went out, and I went upstairs and I literally just unplugged the router and plugged it back in. You know how many times I've fixed my internet problems by just resetting my router?
Yes.
Or like just resetting or just like on just your phone, like an app, just restarting it.
Have you ever been like at home and then for like a split second the power cuts out?
The lights flicker, yeah.
Right. Like
And then just cuts for a second.
right. And that fucks up a router, dude. Holy shit. At least my router, it did that the other night. It was about 5 minutes or so, and it's just flashing blue, and you're like, should I do anything to it?
Mm-hmm.
No, you just gotta wait till it figures it out. You just gotta ride that blue wave. Yeah. To the light of day.
All right, let's get
into stuff.
let's get into the topic. So
See?
last week we were a little light on news. Today we got a good amount of news. So first thing we want to talk about is the Marvel visual effects union vote.
We've touched on this a lot.
Yeah, so Marvel VFX artists have voted to unionize. Yeah, this is a big deal, and we talked about it because I remember you were texting me about it when we were coming up for the news for the show, and you're like, this is a good thing, right? And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. You and I have been talking for weeks about how animators need to be next.
Mhm.
I think everybody should unionize.
They've
in this
never been
situation.
unionized, and like almost
Which is
everything
insane.
else in Hollywood is unionized.
Because you think about this, when we talk about box office numbers, and we, funny enough, we will with Barbie.
Yeah, we
their
will.
Milestone. But you look at this year, animation has been fucking carrying the box office this year. Mario made a whole bunch of money. Spider-Verse made a whole bunch of money. There's another one that came out this year that made a ton of money too. I can't think of it. There was another one, but like fucking TMNT made a bunch. It came in second to Barbie, but had a pretty solid weekend, and that's animated. I do want to go out and see that. But
They've also
my point is
made it a point. Seth Rogen produced it, I think, right?
Yeah, him and Evan Goldstein.
They made it a point to say like we made sure that we didn't overwork our animators, and they put out a press release about like how
So
the working conditions that their animators were under, which were way better.
Which again, I'm surprised it took
8-hour days.
It took this long. It's not surprising that it's happening, especially with the news coming out about how they are treated. But this is not necessarily talking about the third parties that Marvel's been using. So, visual effects crews at Marvel Studios filed this past Monday.
Bankruptcy. I'm just kidding.
They filed this past Monday, which would be August 7th. For a unionization election with the National Labor Relations Board, according to the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. The labor organization said that Marvel's more than 50 worker crew and signed authorization cards indicating that they wished to be represented by the union.
Represented
by the union, yeah.
Good on him.
Good.
Good.
I can't stress that enough.
Hello, mate.
That we talked about it with the UPS thing, with the UPS strike, because funny. I was with some friends. I was with funnily enough. I was hanging out with Luke on his birthday. And we were talking about this, and we talked about the UPS strike because we were talking about WGA and SAG-AFTRA, and then we talked about the UPS one, and I think we talked about it last week. And I said to him,
I smoke outside at my apartment complex with a guy who works for UPS. I don't know if I told you about on the show.
We talked about it. Yeah, I don't know
if
I
told you
about
off the air.
But he said, yeah, we got $800 million out of them.
I can't remember what it was.
Something
but
like that.
Yeah,
number.
they took a big chunk, and they had it the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what happened in the conversation. I literally said the same thing. I said, "Wow, magically they just had $800 million lying around."
Because they had it the whole time, and you've seen the numbers about like what Netflix and Disney and all that they're asking for. It's like 0.000013% of like their net worth or some shit. Like nothing. It's nothing to them. It's pocket change.
Wage theft is a huge deal,
Holy
and that's why these companies are unionizing. But again, this is. I do think it's worth noting that this isn't the third parties that Marvel has been working with recently. This is in-house Marvel Studios.
But it's a good
visual
first
effects.
step, though.
Yeah, visual effects artists.
It's a good first domino.
Yeah, these are visual effects pros employed directly by Marvel and generally work in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York. It doesn't include the work of thousands of visual effects artists that work on Marvel movies through third-party studios. Marvel has not yet voluntarily recognized the union effort. I don't see a reason why Marvel won't, just because of the unbelievably bad press Disney has been giving during these other strikes, and it's. I think they need.
Are we going to talk about Warner Brothers?
Oh yeah, fuck David Zaslav. I want to be very fucking clear, and I really want people.
I was just about to say, but I
Tyler,
you had
I really want to say
up
this. I don't think I've said this enough.
I love you too.
I don't ever in my lifetime
Yeah.
at all expect to work for Disney or Marvel or Warner Brothers or DC, any of that shit. So I can comfortably say, go fuck yourselves. Seriously, guys, go fuck yourselves. Because he was bragging about not paying people. Like, he was.
Yeah, how much money they've saved by delaying movies.
Here's a fun fact for you. David Zaslav doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Because you know what he did? He took over HBO Max. He took over the most HBO, one of the most recognizable brands in entertainment, and just gutted it. Takes all this content off the app, cuts off HBO off its name, and calls it Max. You know that has.
Oh, there's an HBO hub though.
You know that this whole Max adventure, the streaming adventure that they've been doing, has cost them $1 billion. You want to know why?
And mine still doesn't fucking work right.
But remember,
fuck.
David Zaslav was going to come in and fix everything. And then to go and brag about not having to pay people, and you're glad that they're on strike.
Let me guess.
And again, I bet you
He's not an entertainment guy.
I bet.
He's a businessman.
I would put money down saying that Zaslav was the unnamed executive that said they wanted to make fucking people homeless. Wouldn't doubt it for a second. This dude is a piece of shit. And you know what the best part about it was? Seeing him do a commencement speech and the students chanting, "Pay your writers." Because he is an uncreative piece of shit. And go fuck him. Yeah, go fuck yourselves. You, Bob Iger, especially you too, Bob Iger.
Oh, yeah.
Makes thousands of dollars a minute and says, "Oh, it's disturbing what they're asking." Like, these people are just trying to get fucking health care while you bathe in $100 bills.
Hey, babe. Bob. Babe.
Hey,
babe.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, babe.
Hey, Bob Iger.
Hey, babe. No, Bob, all you have to do is give up like 30 minutes of your daily pay. And that would take care of everything that they want. Like, seriously.
Greed is...
That's how much fucking money
really,
you make, you piece of shit.
It really boils down to...
You're so greedy that... I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. There's that thing, like, it's amazing how much $10,000 would change somebody's life, you know, like in an instant.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how many people that would change. But, like, rich old assholes are, like, spending, like, $10,000, like, on a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like a hotel room for one night. And it's like, go fuck yourselves.
And this
fuck yourselves.
This is why.
And you know what? Go fuck the people. Actually, no. I do actually praise the people who are gutting the rich people with $10,000 a night hotel stays. Good on you.
I do want to point out, like, it's important that these guys unionize because that's what a lot of this fight is about. This is the common misconception. These strikes are not about Brad Pitt or Robert Downey Jr. or some big name actor. It's not about them. It's about the people that are, you know, making barely 20, if they're lucky, not even 25,000 a year. Like, these people are not big name actors that make millions of dollars on a movie, and it's people like these visual effects artists that are a part of the crew that are the behind-the-scenes guys that make this shit run.
Yeah.
Because I got news for you. Some of your favorite lines from actors, most of them are written. Yep. And you should pay those people.
Hey, can I tell you a really a clickbaity article topic is famous moments in movies that were ad-libbed, right? You know, it's one of those like tabula or whatever the fucking thing. Yeah. Those 8 stories that appear on the bottom of every fucking goddamn website ever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or BuzzFeed, ad feed, whatever.
Those clickbaity slides.
Yeah, but one of them is always like, this person works at, A-lister in Hollywood 10 years ago. Now they're a fucking grocery, whatever. And it's always, you know who it always is? Oh, I can't remember her name. I'll remember it. But it's always this one actress from the 90s. And she's actually working still, which is funny. Anyway, but they always say like famous moments in movies or TV that were ad-libbed. And it's a interesting article because everybody knows that doesn't happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because most actors are not writing shit. Now, really good actors who really get into their character can help write for the character.
There's a lot of good
they
actors,
can suggest
writers,
stuff. But it's not, there's not a lot of,
and there's a lot of writing on set, but it's like, again, all that was there started with a writer.
Wasn't it John Cassavetes?
I don't
who he pioneered the whole keep going. No, but he pioneered the whole thing of I think he worked with Sidney Poitier a lot. But
I like how you said keep going and then you just kept going.
He well, I can talk about him. He pioneered.
I can walk and chew bubble gum. Anyway, what I was getting to
Keep going.
is I think the reason that these studios are hesitant to this is because unions are very strict about things. And unions, I've talked with someone that works on TV and movie projects. Like, he helps build sets, and he talked about being in a union, and he talked about how great it was, and how they were very strict on the amount of hours they could do, or how many, they made sure that these guys weren't overworked. And I think Marvel the reason they're unionizing is because Marvel has been exploiting that. We found out this past year how much they've exploiting the fact that, like, oh, they're not in a union, so we can exploit them and overwork them as much as we want,
right?
Because there's not, a Teamster like breathing down our neck, being like, hey,
you can't.
These are this is the hours they get these weekends,
right.
Whatever.
Oh yeah,
and,
no,
yeah. It's important to have these unions. As again, talking to someone who works. In the entertainment industry, as someone who builds sets, like, he talked about it a lot, how good the union has been. And you know what else? I think that's good all around, because now it's going to start forcing these people,
right,
by paying the writers more, by paying the actors more,
well,
or paying, and by paying these artists more. All these things, unionizing and forcing these guys. You know what that means? It means they're going to have to take time. So that means these movies are going to be better, because we're not cramming all this shit in last minute. Looking at you, Phase 4 of the MCU.
Also, you're talking about whatever, but every one of your projects ends with a gigantic CGI fueled fucking battle. So I mean, this is huge that they've unionized and everything, but
they're trying to, at least.
Or they're trying to, or they voted to try to. But I mean, go read some stories about, like, the old days in Hollywood. I can't remember what they were called, but basically, it was contract. I think they called them the contract years. Because these actors would be under contract to, like, these movie studios, and they treated them like shit. Go read about Judy Garland, motherfuckers. Go read about that shit. That shit was awful. If they didn't have SAG-AFTRA and the WGA, that shit would still be fucking going on.
Also, SAG was such. I talk about. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not trying to shoehorn Jesse Ventura into this. No, but.
But we should. We should try to fucking shoehorn Jesse Ventura into everything.
Tyler, I promise you, I'm making a point.
Okay.
Jesse, when he worked on Predator,
yes,
he got SAG. He got a SAG card, and he loved it so much. He came back to the WWF.
He loved it so much,
and I looked him all in the eyes. This was right before WrestleMania 2, and I said, "Hey guys, I just joined the Screen Actors Guild, and I gotta tell you, unions are the shit, man, and we should do one."
He even suggested this.
He goes, "We could do a work stoppage."
Keep in mind, this is WrestleMania we're talking about, but that's what I'm saying is that these unions that have treated these workers so well, they're at a point where they're like Jesse Ventura himself was like, I should pitch this to other people and we should do this more. And again, I think good will come out of this. I think only good will come out of paying people and letting them have time off. I think too long in this country we have been exploited as workers by working crazy hours, working holidays when we shouldn't, and we should have time off. Like, I hate to tell you guys, I don't believe that people should work to live.
What?
Crazy. Yes, you should have a wage, and you should have a job, but I'm not saying that you need to work yourself to the bone for some corporation.
I got thrown out of somewhere for stating that opinion of mine, that we have enough food to clothe, feed, and shelter every fucking human being on the planet, no exceptions.
Yeah.
And ended up turning into an argument where I got thrown out of the house. Not really. I guess I left.
You took yourself out of the situation.
True.
But regardless,
let's you know what?
I
left.
There's only good.
I didn't have to go. I wasn't like, get out of here.
Yeah.
There never was that.
Yeah.
Not like that guy listens to this anyway, so.
Moving on.
Moving on from the world Remember back to comic books and stuff. What?
Barbie.
Yeah.
We're talking about it again.
Fucking
because we're a
Ben
bunch
Shapiro,
of woke chuckle fucks.
Yeah, so
funny story. The latest Melanie Mac video is getting a lot of traction. Talking about Tanya from Mortal Kombat 1, that whole thing. I've been looking at the comments. I haven't been really responding to them. But one of my favorite responses was like, first the comment is like, "What's up with this? Whatever," and then "What's going on?" And then as they've watched the video, it just says, "No, you're an SJ," assuming SJW. So never mind. And I just thought that was funny. Of like, "What's this all about?" And then watches the video and goes, "Oh, he's a cuck." All right.
Thank you very much.
That's what I love about YouTube is like 1 minute you're looking at a really nice comment and the next minute is like fucking eat shit and die.
You know, before we move on, I want to make a point here. The internet has really made it possible for humans to be like their most awful and get away with it like constantly. Let me go ahead and give you a couple examples. I do a fantasy football show, and so I've been mock drafting a lot. And you can do it with live people, right?
Yeah.
And you do it, and you see these names that these people come up with, and holy shit, these guys think these guys are like fucking nailed it, dude. Yeah, and it's just like, so one of them, I have mixed feelings about Adrian Peterson, Vikings, because of whatever. But this guy called himself Adrian Peterson, which straight up. Objectively creativity, got to give it A+ there. I wouldn't have thought of that, But as a moral thing, that's really really shitty, and that's not funny actually. Again, just straight up wow, that's I never would have thought of that. Mainly because I'm not an awful fucking human being.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good on you. But then here's my favorite, and this just cracks me up because there's a million guys like this in the state of Iowa alone. This other guy was lig on D's nuts.
Wow.
Or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Oh no, it was D's nuts in your mouth. and you know that this guy was like, what's your team name? And this is mind you, this is a mock draft. This isn't real. And maybe that's why they put these silly names, but this guy is sitting there going, "Oh, what should my team name be? Fucking, I don't know, man. Oh, I got it. D's nuts in your mouth." Nailed it. Just
absolute
banger,
Mom,
dude. Bring me a soda because I just killed the internet, dude. What happened, honey?
You
some Pop-Tarts.
I'm so proud of you.
I want some fucking Pop-Tarts too. And you're just like, ugh. And most of the people that comment on our videos would never actually say any of this shit in public.
No.
But because
they might.
Well, you're right. Depending on how much of a following they have on YouTube or how much they're trying to get, they might. But mostly no. They're just fucking, being trolls and shit.
They just go out in public and they're like, you know what I mean?
Do it again. That was bullshit.
It wasn't loud enough.
I want to fucking hear that again. Still not loud enough.
Oh,
crank that shit. Get that. No, okay.
Crank it up.
Crank it.
So we're talking
Crank
about Barbie again because we are SJWs. Because honestly, it's hit some big milestones. Most importantly, it's crossed $1 billion this past weekend. Yeah.
How do you explain that one?
I don't know. Maybe because people are talking about it. I think a lot of people like it. But I could be wrong. But I think a lot of it is mostly good reaction.
I know I'm going to be blasted. The shit get blasted.
I pretty much know the whole movie
for some hyperbole. I don't. I've been avoiding spoilers because I kind of want to see it.
I mean, I'll watch it, but
we should go see it.
No, I'm not going to see it in the theater.
I'm going to get blasted for hyperbole in this, but this could go down as one of those movies that shifts the cultural
I am worried about that
viewpoint.
I'm worried about that, not because of the messaging or the feminism or whatever. I'm worried because of how Mattel is approaching it and being like, well, you like this, let's do a shared universe. And it's like, guys, not everything needs to be a shared universe. You can just make a good Barbie.
Greta Gerwig was like, miss me with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We want a Barbie sequel. You ain't fucking getting it from me.
I don't know, man. I think everybody's got a price. You know, that's what Ted DiBiase told me.
Here, I'll be fair in this. If I'm willing to bet that Greta Gerwig is the kind of artist, and Margot Robbie and who helped produce it, right? Mm-hmm. So she's just as big in this too.
Her and her husband, their production company.
Right there, yep. Didn't Gosling too, or no?
Oh, did I tell you how much money this made?
$1 million, bitch.
Billion. Sorry. $1 billion, bitch.
That was terrible.
$1 billion. And you know what they said to the box office?
I'll drink your blood.
So I'm willing to bet she's the type who's like, listen, we'll do it if there's a good enough story.
Also,
and we can come up with a reason to do. She doesn't give a fuck. I mean, the money, she'll take it, of course.
Greta Gerwig's gonna have so much job security now because she's the only female director to have $1 billion movie. It's wild. So I think that she's gonna. Well, I think she already had a lot of job security because she is kind of viewed as like an auteur director. She makes very movies. Critically acclaimed movies. I don't think I've ever actually watched a movie she's done.
Neither.
I've never seen Ladybug or Little Women. But
me neither.
Will you stop it? What are you doing? You're doing exercises right
now?
My
fucking shoulders are hurting right now. I'm real stressed out. Stressed out about all these right-wing douchebags.
Let's chill it out.
No.
Chill it out, Atlas.
No, okay.
Also worth noting, I believe it was #1 this past weekend at the box office, beating Mutant Mayhem. Oh, did you hear the discourse?
I thought I farted. The face you just made, you were like, oh.
Did you see the discourse about the rumor? Because Bounding Into Comics, great website, like ran with this whole like rumor that Splinter's gay in the movie, and that's not true. That was a made up rumor, and so that spread like wildfire.
That's cool.
And then it didn't work.
No, I mean,
like the grift for them didn't work because Splinter's not gay.
Yeah.
So then they just pivoted back to, well, yeah, but April O'Neil is still fat and ugly. And they won't say this one out loud. Well, some of them will. Black. Like they're gonna complain that she's black. Like it is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Barbie getting $1 billion. You know who's really looking silly right now? Benny Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
Benny Shaps. Remember what he said during his 43-minute Barbie review.
Let's hear it.
Week 1, this thing is going to clean up at the domestic box office. My prediction is going to just absolutely fall off a cliff after that. The repeat business on this movie is going to be non-existent because it was written by two people who are so smug and self-satisfied, in Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, that they have no audience.
Yeah, okay. Made $1 billion, Ben. It just continues to prove that this shit is all a grift. You know, like he kind of was. Yeah. Well, it just like that's the only validation I can get, only thing I could get out of this.
Ben Shapiro's predicting. That's the problem in our society. There's a lot of people who give a shit what Ben Shapiro predicts, and it's people you wouldn't think of.
Sorry, we had a glitch there.
What the fuck?
Hey,
it really is people you wouldn't predict, man. Just I'm not saying like, hey, you might be living with a scroll. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going that far, okay? Just chill out.
Red scare.
No, but
it's the green scare.
No, but I think, obviously not at work. Don't get fired. But your friends and family and stuff like that, like, start having these conversations because you would be surprised, like, what kind of batshit crazy fucking conspiracy theories your, like, cousin has or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying anything about my friends and family because I only associate and am related to people who aren't complete.
Yeah. Only the best people.
Only the best.
Simply the best.
Who needs to take away it? You know whose Twitter needs to get taken away?
Who?
That guy.
Tiki Watiti.
Yep.
That is exactly who I was
Tired
talking
of that
about.
shit. With the
I look at him and all he says is,
and his movies just sound like
"I'll buy the."
the pew pew quip pew. What is it?
Pew pew quip. Pew pew quip.
That's all his movies sound
Yeah,
like.
pretty much.
Over and over again for
Yeah.
2 hours, 90 minutes.
Yeah. And I said, you know what?
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Fucking
So let's move on.
pizza time.
Whoa. Moving on. Speaking of pizza time,
Pizza time.
let's
Ooh.
talk about some weird news. Let's go with that. So, David Ayer, David Ayer, the
I think it's Ayer.
director of 2016's Suicide Squad, has been stirring up some interesting rumors
Really?
about the Ayer cut, and then kind of like realizing he overstepped and was like, "Well, I can't really say that." So here's what happened. He was sharing like concept art or just unused things that they had, like behind the scenes pictures on social media,
Yeah.
which I didn't.
Oh.
I don't think he was allowed to do with
Because of
the strike,
proprietary-
because
Oh, recently.
if there's one thing I'm going to complain about, it's the strike not allowing them to talk about past projects.
Yeah.
I don't know how I
You
feel.
should be able to make some money.
But I mean, you could still do like cons, but you can only do like signings and stuff. You can't really do panels because you can't talk about previous work, and you can't talk about future projects. I don't know, but
Sucks.
anyway, hey man,
Bells.
hey man,
Yeah.
strikes they suck.
You know, I can't tell what
People
sucks
don't wanna go
more,
on
those
strike.
rules or my singing. All right.
Wow. So anyway,
Bells.
David Ayer decided to go. I think it was on Instagram
Mm.
and say the following quote: "There's a genuine curiosity and interest from a lot of people." This response, this quote, I have them backwards.
What the fuck?
Well, recently people have been talking about the Ayer cut especially started after the Snyder cut. It's still been going around for a while. Ayer did respond to someone in the past with a negative comment, and he said, "There's a genuine curiosity and interest from a lot of people, and I'm aware there is another group of people that have fun mocking the film. Your comment is a perfect example of how many are magnetically drawn to the discussion to the 2016 film in a negative way. Have you ever had an experience?" This is where it's like, okay, I can level with him because you need to also remember these are human beings making this shit. Have you ever had an experience in life that didn't until... This is how he wrote it. "Have you ever had an experience in life that didn't end the way that you wanted?" I'm assuming is what he's trying to say. "That dragged you, that made you rethink everything?" I have, and all I know is my unseen film plays better than the studio release. The interest in my cut being shown seems real and organic, and Gunn told me it would have its time to be shared. He absolutely deserves to launch his DC universe without more drama about old projects. In a way, I'm chained to this thing. I'm riding a tiger here and navigating the situation the best I can. Life is a very strange journey. Okay, so
There's a lot to unpack.
I think he's got a point because the studio version sucks. Not a good movie. And you can definitely tell there was some serious changes to his cut because I heard the rumor that the people that cut the Bohemian
some
Rhapsody
of it doesn't
trailer,
make sense.
well, the guys that cut together that Bohemian Rhapsody trailer got people really excited. I heard a rumor that Warner Brothers had them go in and put the final cut to the movie.
Ew.
I don't know if that's true.
So 30-second movie trailer guys, music video guys,
cut a
basically.
whole 2 and some change
That's
movie.
not smart.
2 hours and some change.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Again, I don't know if that rumor's true or not.
No, listen, you give me a 3-minute music video, I'll kick your ass.
But the more you think about it,
I'll
the more
kick its ass.
the more you think about it, the more it makes sense.
I'll kick
Because
your ass.
that movie looks like it was edited by someone that was told we need to market this thing to Hot Topic as much as possible. And I think that I would buy the rumor that those editors edited this movie.
Absolutely.
Because there's no third fucking act.
Did they also do the Fantastic Four reshoots? The Josh
Probably.
Trank?
Probably.
Jesus.
So I am not doubting him when he says that his version is better.
No.
Now, I think
He's made some good stuff, hasn't he? What else has he done?
people like Fury. I haven't seen that. He also did.
Fury was great.
I think he did End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal and
Didn't see that.
the dude from Ant-Man, Michael Pena. Michael Pena.
Levi.
I'm done with the bit. All right, fucking move on. But I also have this. I feel two minds about it. I don't really care to see another version of that movie. Will you stop? Because honestly, I don't fucking care about the DCEU anymore. I really don't. And I just don't think like I would be fine. I don't really want to care. I don't care. That movie, it is what it is, and I'm sure he makes a better cut.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But there's also that side of me. It's like,
Just cut me off.
let me finish my thought, because there's another side of me that says, hey, I think his story should be told. I don't see a problem with that. I supported the Snyder Cut because I'm like, great, that he gets to see his vision realized.
I thought
You know what I
it was
mean?
kind of cool.
But what do you think about all this?
Well, first of all, just rude.
It's because every time I try and finish, you sidetrack me. It's like we're off topic.
Just trying to cry over here, but you're just telling me to shut up. No,
your tears mean nothing to me.
As a curiosity, like that's
Right.
that's not how I felt about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I was genuinely interested in the Snyder Cut because it was like, this is cool, and
I liked the
I
Snyder
liked
Cut.
it.
Yeah, we
I
both
mean,
did.
It was long.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I didn't
what-
like all of it.
No,
Like, there's some things I would have.
there was a lot of cool stuff that was like, yeah, I wish they would have included this in the movie.
Yeah.
Not
Not the Justice League. The Joss Whedon cut.
also, don't care enough, like you said, about the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
2016 movie.
I mean, yeah, if it
To-
shows up on Max, I'll watch it. I
Right.
guess. Whatever.
If you're sitting there, first of all, the Snyder cult is just fucked. So
you see them
wanting
shitting
to have that?
Did you see them shit in their pants because Zack Snyder is supporting Blue Beetle? Like before the strikes and stuff, he's like, I can't wait to see it, blah blah blah. And they're like, fuck you, Zack. Sorry, I cut you off. Continue.
No. I was saying like that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because they're such man babies. Such man babies. So
can we also talk real quick aside about the fucking Patriots who are blasting the fucking U.S. national women's team?
I thought they cared about women's sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some kind of Patriots
but our national women's team lost. But
because they're LGBTQ and she hates America.
and she wants equal pay.
what
How
a bitch.
dare she? Yeah. So anyway,
It's just hilarious. No, but so Ayer, I don't think you're trying to go for that because I know you understand how awful the Snyder cult is, but maybe don't post shit like that because
it caused confusion. So
right,
when you
and you're
word it-
also like, what if and if Gunn didn't actually say that, you're out, dude. You're gone. I'll bet you anything. Gunn will be like, I'm not working with him anymore.
my guess would be if he did say that.
It just doesn't seem like something like, hey, I'm going to tell you this, and by the way, it's cool to post it on social media. I seriously doubt it. Maybe it wasn't said, but I'm willing to bet that right
I
now,
imagine-
Gunn's working
well,
under
my
kind
guess-
of a thing of secrecy. Well, before the strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kind of a thing of
my
secrecy.
My
like
thought
there's
could be
nothing-
that he's trying to talk to him and say like, but he said the way he said it was this this film, like he made it seem like you're getting an Ayer cut, like you're getting the Snyder cut treatment. But I don't think James Gunn is going to do that. I think
why waste the resources?
because he is so focused on having Superman Legacy be the new, really start his vision of what he sees for the future. And again, it really I think what's really annoying is I'm just sick of Warner Brothers doing this shit, and I'm like, look, make a fucking version and just stick to it. You know who doesn't have movies that have multiple cuts? Fucking
MCU.
Marvel. Yeah. And I
Nobody
hate,
has
dude,
it.
I hate it. Like I get novelty. I get like, if you want like the 25th anniversary Blu-ray or some shit like that, or like a box set or things. I get that to a degree, but like Blade Runner, why the fuck are there 7 cuts of that movie? Why?
Oh yeah, it's irritating.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just let these people fucking tell the story they want to tell. And I understand things get cut, scenes get cut.
No, I don't know why there's 7, but I do know that it's
But-
kind of ridiculous. And here's the thing. like if I'm not mistaken, the voiceover was something
They added later.
Well,
right?
the studio wanted it.
Yes.
Neither was it Ridley Scott.
Yeah, it was Ridley Scott.
Neither Ridley nor Harrison
They-
wanted that.
you
They
could
were
tell.
like, it's gonna fucking ruin the movie or
Listen
whatever.
to his VO. He's fucking bored as hell.
Yes. And the first time I ever saw that movie was the original fucking movie cut, the studio cut.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, this is, I mean, it kind of made sense. And it actually, when you watch like the Ridley Scott, the director's cut, I think it's called the definitive version, because he kept trying to get the rights from the studio to do it the way he wanted to. And every time, if I'm not mistaken, every time he got something, he would release a cut. And I was like, you fucking idiot. So the definitive version is the one that he wanted from the beginning.
It's called
right.
the final cut.
Is it? Or
It's
the
something
definitive version, I think.
It was the one that I watched on
Sure.
Amazon before I saw Blade Runner 2049. It was it was called the final cut.
Right.
So it was like this is the movie that they were making.
There's a version that like Ridley Scott
There's no-
has made that is the way.
It's such a
and
better
there's
movie.
there's no. Now, had you ever seen it with the voiceover?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen both versions.
Now, did you see the first time you saw it? Did you see it with the voiceover?
Yes.
Like me?
Yeah.
It makes the movie way fucking different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you finally see the version without the voiceover, it's like this is way more. This has way more depth.
And
I like that there's not somebody fucking spoon feeding me exposition while I'm watching shit happen.
It's great visual storytelling.
Oh my god,
Unbelievable
yes,
visual
right?
storytelling.
When you're not hearing that fucking voiceover and you're like they're just going through fucking and you're just like
and that's what I loved about
for the 80s, the fucking special effects.
and that's what's
dude.
so great about Blade Runner 2049. It's
Ugh.
these long sweeping shots that
Ugh.
take their time. And
Why do you think I love directors like Villeneuve? Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Like
Also-
he did that with that one movie with
so-
Amy Adams.
to wrap this
Fine.
segment
That's fine.
up.
What was it called? I don't know. Do you remember?
What?
The movie with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner that he did. About the aliens.
I know it.
You know what I'm talking about? The big old fucking pods like hanging above the earth and shit.
Mhm.
And they had to you saw it.
I'm not gonna answer it because I don't remember. Anyway, so to wrap this topic up, don't even look it up. I don't
am gonna
fucking
look it up.
care
I
about
don't give
that
a shit
movie.
if you give a shit. I give a shit.
No, because we're gonna waste more time.
No, we're not. Keep going.
So yeah, this sparked a rumor that
God.
DC was in fact going to release the Ayer cut.
Finally.
But Ayer responded by saying, quote, silly rumor, not true. You fucking spread the rumor.
Yeah, you stupid fucking
Wow. Why are you coming at him so hot like that? That was mean.
asshole.
You dumb bitch.
What? It bugs. He's Canadian.
Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah. I thought he was like,
Denis Venezuela?
no, he's from Quebec.
What did I say? I said something like that.
Yeah, what the fuck did you just say?
No, the reason I said that is because when I couldn't remember how to pronounce his name, I said something like that.
Arrival.
Arrival. That's what it was. I totally remember. Anyway, Tyler, it's time to move on.
It's time to move on.
Do you remember this movie
Yeah.
this past fall, 2022? Very modest movie, made on a very modest budget, made by a pretty small indie studio, and the movie was called Black Adam. And famously, Black Adam.
I think I remember seeing that at the art house for like a week.
Yeah. Interesting movie.
You know,
It was such a weird career change for Dwayne The Rock Johnson to do an art house movie called Black Adam.
It was one of those movie theaters where you could get beer. Like just art
I feel like you
house.
can get them in like every movie theater. now.
Here's why that joke doesn't make any sense anymore. Is ever since like what is it, Flicks? Like those brew houses.
Yeah.
Like now it's
Alamo
commonplace.
Draft House.
Now it's commonplace, but back in the day, the Fleur Cinema, which is making a comeback, which is awesome. But the Fleur, the whatever.
Yeah, just stop saying it like I know. Remember? No,
It's
I
the
don't.
art house movie. It's the movie art whatever.
Sure.
Art house
In,
movie
like an
theater
indie-
in Des Moines or whatever. And it's that back in the day, that was one way you could tell is it an indie movie theater. They
Yeah.
serve beer.
Anyway,
That's where I saw
so
that weird Black Adam movie.
the Black Adam had the biggest opening for The Rock's career. It made it made some money, but it didn't. It wasn't a huge box office.
It was supposed to be a
hit.
tentpole, dude.
It was supposed to make a lot more money than it did, especially given DC's
That was
late
last year, right?
last October.
Yeah.
So, especially given DC's current. Yeah, it was October. Was it 21 or 22?
It was last year because Shazam was this year,
Right.
and it was
Anyway,
like 6 months later.
especially given how
Anyway.
Shazam 2 and The Flash have performed, and how Blue Beetle is not going to do well. This is the last like decent amount of money made on a movie for DC. But still, they decided to go in a different direction. We all know that. So The Rock was on Kevin Hart's Peacock talk show, Heart to Heart.
Oh no!
Not a bad show, honestly.
I
So
wasn't saying that. I was saying, is he talking shit?
no, I think he has an interesting response. So Kevin brought it up, asked him, what happened with Black Adam, and here's a few clips. Here's the first one from The Rock.
I think that Black Adam got caught in a vortex of new leadership. And at that time, as we were creating Black Adam, developing it, shooting Black Adam, we got knocked down a little bit because of COVID and the shutdowns, got back up. There was so many changes in leadership. And as you know, anytime you have a company, but especially that size and magnitude, that's a publicly traded company, and you have all those changes in leadership, you have people coming in who creatively, fiscally are going to make decisions that you may not agree with philosophically. So I think Black Adam was one of those movies that got caught in that web of new leadership. And, that will always be one of the biggest mysteries, I think, not only for me and us on our end, but also throughout our business.
So honestly, not a bad response. I do think.
Fair.
I think what he's saying has some truth. I think with the because I don't remember, it was around this time that they announced James Gunn was taking over and creating DC Studios. It was around this because it was.
Well, no, think about it like
close
this.
to this time.
Think about it like this. He's starting with this movie, and again, for some reason, it was his idea not to be associated with Shazam, right?
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you're wrong. Okay, so right off the bat, your project, sorry, but then you have somebody who's in charge of the DC thing, not James Gunn, telling you this is this and this and this and this. So acting like a Kevin Feige. So saying like you have to.
Yeah, there's
no
no figurehead to.
But there is somebody who's saying like you have to have these things in it to fit into the larger narrative, right?
Yeah.
Because they're still trying, right?
I mean, most of it would be.
So they write a script and
small
start
things.
doing shots and test shots and doing all this stuff and storyboard, and they start go through the process, and then maybe James Gunn comes in and goes, "Hey, if you want to be a part of the larger thing, just right off the bat, you got to change this, and this." So yeah, that's probably really confusing and also doesn't make a good product. So
Yeah.
we kid. Well, I'm talking like we know him. We kid.
Listen, Dwayne, we're sorry.
We kid you, Dwayne. No, but we do take shots at Dwayne The Rock Johnson because honestly, like,
well, we're still going to.
yeah,
Because you haven't heard everything he has to say.
Oh.
I think for the most part, he's very humble about the experience, and I think he's.
He kind of should be. Is what I'm saying.
And I do think that this did hurt his ego a little bit because he thought he had enough star power that he could lead a Black Adam movie, which is like, again, how are you going to do an evil Shazam movie without Shazam being in it? But whatever. He continues.
Oh no! See, I should have waited.
Because that's a Kevin question. But that was a question out of Wall Street. That was a question out of Hollywood. That was a question like, wait a second.
All right, okay.
You had the biggest opening of your career. Sure, no China. That could have been maybe 100, maybe 200 more $1 million. You're establishing a new superhero. You want to grow out the franchise. You bring back Superman and Henry Cavill. The world went crazy. And also, too, and you were texting me this on opening weekend, is we created a diverse superhero portfolio where we had just men and women of color, in Black Adam too as well. So
I will say, I will give him credit. He is right. The Black Adam does have a pretty diverse cast. But this is so I have feelings about this. On one hand, again, I think he has a point. I think that he is being humble about the situation, but then he has to slip his ego back in a little bit because then he says, like, you asked that question, Kevin, but I thought Hollywood was asking that question. Wall Street was asking that question. Like, hey, this movie made all this money. Yeah, no China. That would have been a couple $200 million or whatever. But like, he still has to like have a. And
why didn't they get China again?
I don't remember because China was still, I think, in that time was still doing like different COVID lockdowns or something like that, and they allowed so many movies to come in and only they could only go to so many. So
I don't fucking know.
There was some reasoning for
bullshit.
Because
there was some bullshit.
Yeah,
fucking whatever, man.
And I said, "What?" That's what The Rock said when they said no Shazam
what?
or no Black Adam 2.
What?
He looked at him and said,
What?
And there was that weird
And then
music
they said,
behind him.
Woo, yeah, woo, yeah.
And for some reason, right when he said the word "what," there was that weird music behind him. Doom, doom.
And then they ran away. All right, so again, I want to be clear. I think most of what The Rock's saying, I do think, because you and I had criticism of him of how he dealt with, some of the and I don't even think that movie was that much of a failure, to be honest, but how he handled some of the criticism, how he handled some of the box office
I don't really
numbers
remember how it
versus
what
now
happened in it. Honestly, I remember.
No, but it's a forgettable movie.
I remember that Atom Smasher kept looking like a fucking doof.
Yeah,
like a lot. Okay,
and
what
Hawkman
else?
and Black Adam fought a lot, but here's where I'm like, God damn it! Like, come on, man. This is where I'm like, pump the brakes, Dwayne.
Exactly. And, I think as business-minded people who are always, you and I, who are always thinking audience first, yes, we look at and respect the bottom line economically, but also when you think about opportunity and creating things that are fresh and delivering for the audience, which is our number one boss, when that wasn't looked at through that lens, it makes things a little bit more challenging, I think, for guys like you and I, where you go, you sure you want to do this? But hey, at the end of the day, you know what it is? It's like new ownership coming in, buying an NFL team and going, all right, not my head coach, not my quarterback. Doesn't matter how many times you won the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter how many rings we got.
That's the part that made me laugh.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
That's a great example.
This is great. Yeah, you guys
Kevin.
both. Yikes. No,
that point was great until he said the Super Bowl thing. I'm like, dude, it didn't make like a fucking $1 billion. Let's stop asking.
Let's talk about a couple of things. Like, now, the Young Rock show, is that
it's canceled.
But is that biographical? Did that all that shit happen or whatever?
Yeah, I
so
mean,
his dad was in the WWE.
Yeah, he's a second generation wrestler.
Okay.
Well, his dad and his grandpa were wrestlers.
But Kevin Hart had to kind of come from his own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't. So I mean, I respect Kevin Hart being the kind of guy who's like, hey, you got to keep the the positivity, and things like that, because it probably helped him get to where he is, and hard work and all that stuff. But Dwayne, and that's fine that you are like, I worked hard, and he did. I'm not saying he didn't work hard. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of problems out there, guys. Like, that are way worse than you guys not having a great box.
Yeah, you don't
office for
getting another
Adam.
Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
And no, and
I'm pretty sure there's
again,
at least 10 kids within a mile radius of here
that
that haven't eaten properly.
Why do you got to do that?
Because it's probably the truth.
I mean, it is
We're
true.
in Iowa.
It is true, but it's like, come on, man.
We should kick
Try and have a fun fucking show.
No, but I mean, no.
I want to make it clear.
Okay.
I liked him when he was The Rock. I like him now. I don't have any problem. I think he's
very likable, and it's
he's
hard.
a good guy.
Yeah, I don't.
But like
not
sometimes
like him.
his ego.
Yes.
Like this movie really took. I think took an ego, hit. But the problem I have with that example, which I think was good until he said, "Doesn't matter how many Super Bowls you won." That's where I was like, again, it's his ego being like, dude, again, you're.
I don't
he
know
has
if
a
I've
great
ever
attitude.
seen a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
You saw Black Adam.
That's true. But before that,
but I do think he's right.
Name some of his.
I think a couple of factors worked against this movie. Like we said, it's a Shazam villain without Shazam.
Yeah.
The Rock, despite his charisma, I think people don't view him as a movie star as much as just another. He's a brand. He's got that energy drink. He's got his
Also,
tequila. He's got all this other stuff.
If you're
his
trying
production
to,
company.
if you're trying to do like a brand like with The Rock, like Black Adam doesn't fit it at all. Like if he's trying to do the brand that I think he is, that doesn't fit it at all. Like
Well.
especially because it wasn't really an anti. I don't remember what happened
it didn't. That didn't happen until
I
like
don't remember what happened in the movie.
the Black Adam like redemption stuff didn't happen until later, like that, like in his lore. Like that didn't come in until 52, and then the new the 52 event, and then the new 52 is where they kind of started turning him more into an anti-hero.
They made him more of an anti-hero, but they also made him way more violent and vicious, which is weird.
Well, then he had Isis and Osiris as like his Black Adam family.
I don't
Remember that?
what happened? No, I didn't read the new 52.
I want to keep in mind that Isis was before the
terrorist
organization.
No, there was a Saturday morning cartoon show that we watched called Isis and the
Archer.
something.
The agency was called Isis. And
Oh,
they had
that
to
was
change
so.
it.
What did they change it to? No, that's why they went to the
Yeah.
CIA and stuff,
All right.
and they changed it to buttholes.
All right, Tyler. If we're gonna do this, we got to do it right. Okay.
We're gonna do it right all night.
Tell me more about
Jeez,
it.
I better go get another soda. Do you do the
Why
sounder?
are
I'm
you
gonna
getting
grab
a soda?
so I can
You
not
don't need
die.
a soda.
You play the sounder.
It's not gonna help
You
you.
play the sounder,
Oh
and I'm
my
gonna go.
God. Oh, great! Now the dog's taking out the
Play the
equipment.
sounder.
I don't have it because I don't want to hear it from you. I said, hey, what's in my mouth? What I'm talking about?
What is that? What is that?
What's it taste like?
I don't know.
All right. All right. Tyler.
Okay,
what
so
do we got?
while I was in Chicago, I saw this place called the Beef Jerky Experience. And I spent like a good 10 minutes there just going around going like, oh man, look at that shit. But that's not what we have. What we have here is, I think I've actually seen it here in Iowa now, maybe. But I saw two flavors of Cheetos. One's crunchy and one's puffs. And they're flaming hot. And they're a little hot.
Yeah.
You got a smoky ghost pepper flavored puffs and sweet Carolina Reaper. Somehow smoky and sweet don't sound like they should describe these two things. So we're going to start.
Will you stop it?
With the smoky
I hate it.
ghost pepper puffs. Okay. Okay, so let's both take a breath.
Take a breath.
They don't
Jesus,
look
they're
right.
huge.
They don't look right, do
They look
they?
like-
Do they look like
they
peppers?
look like head crabs from Half-Life 2.
Don't they look like peppers?
I'm going to take 2.
Oh my god. They're supposed to look like peppers, right?
I guess.
They do look like bugles.
Cheers.
Holy fuck.
Flavor. These are good. They're hot, but they're good. It's not too hot, but it's hot. It's cooking. Leave those there. I'll eat them.
Yeah. I know.
Big fan. So remember, our rating scale is... Sorry, we need to turn that up. It's this.
Yes.
If we don't like it, it's a much meaner one.
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Gaina.
It sticks with you. I will say that it it sticks with
Let's
you.
just say I'm gonna have some nightmares tonight. You know what I'm talking about? It's like after 9 o'clock and I'm eating spicy food. I'm gonna have some trouble.
Can't say I really relate. I guess.
A lot of showing up to high school with just nothing but my underwear. You know what I'm saying?
that actually happened. Ow! Gosh, my
Next.
dog just clawed my foot. Ow!
Next up is the God, that's still kicking my
Yeah,
ass.
it tingles in your mouth after a while. I like it.
Yeah, you're an ass.
Makes me feel alive.
Next up is the Flamin' Hot Sweet Carolina Reaper Cheetos.
Smells like Cheetos. Woo! I'm gonna take one.
Just one?
These are the crunchy ones.
Yeah, I like crunchy.
The ghost pepper ones
I'm gonna
look
take
like
two
little
of
peppers.
these. I'm gonna take two of these. I like that they look like
big
little...
tough guy.
These are gonna kill me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Those are good. They're not as hot as the ghost pepper ones, but they're not bad.
No.
My tongue is alive.
Ah!
Tingly.
I'm gonna kick myself in the face because it's so damn hot.
Kick what? Now what are you doing now? Is that a bag of popcorn?
Yeah, it's
What kind of
Chicago-
popcorn? Oh, by the way,
pizza.
both of the Cheetos
Yeah. Yes!
from me. What about you, Tyler?
Yes!
Now he's eating fucking Chicago flavored popcorn. Chicago pizza flavored popcorn.
That's what I got from the beef jerky experience.
Why are from the beef jerky experience?
I also got Nashville hot beef jerky, which we're also gonna have right now.
No.
Who wants to start the long box?
Nobody does.
Just a little ASMR segment out of the show.
Pizza flavored popcorn.
Beef jerky, make me.
Oh God. Long.
Is that on the air?
It's a long box.
Who wants to start?
Well, I don't know where to go, Tyler.
I'll start.
No.
So,
Ugh. What's your long box today?
my long box is As you know.
my tongue is tingling right now.
my tongue feels like a bunch of Smurfs jizzed on it.
Spit taked.
Sometimes I'm about to say something and then I'm like, don't finish it. But then I realize that Jake's about to start laughing uncontrollably, and there's nothing I love more in the world than making Jake
You
laugh.
could have killed me. I could have choked.
I would have Heimlicked you. I would have Heimlicked you all night long.
Could I take a drink, please? Anyway.
So, my card got hacked, and since then I've got a new card, and I like that most of these subscription-based things are based off the card and not the account. Because
Like your Gmail or something.
right. Or your bank account, you know what I mean? So when shit comes out, it's out of the card, and if that card is shut down, which my old one is, I'm getting all these emails like, "Hey man, you know what? We
It isn't working. Where's our money?
just wondering if you still want the service." You know, it's like,
I don't want to fucking break your legs, but I will. Those kind of emails.
and yeah, well, I mean, it's nothing more than alert payment for
Yeah,
whatever has failed. Da 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 da.
They're not that aggressive, but
No, but you get like
get a couple
we
of
will
them
try
if you like
again
it.
in 5
Yeah.
days. You know,
Listen
it's like-
here, bitch. We're getting your money back.
and that's fine. You know, go ahead. And I should just cancel these, but whatever. The point is that I let everything lapse. So now I'm really, really thinking like, what do I want to get back? And meantime, I've been watching Roku channel, which is Jesus.
You can watch
H.
weird.
Wow, these fucking Reapers, man.
Do not burp on Mike.
I'm sorry,
Cardinal
it's these
sin.
fucking Ghost Pepper Reaper motherfuckers, man. They're kicking my ass. It's the Smurf Jizz Cheetos. All right.
Wow.
Well,
What a promotion. God damn it.
this is the Smurfiest.
Please stop. We need to stop with the Smurf.
So
Stop.
Roku, which is one of those channels that you can find like some really cool shit. I actually found this movie Quick Change with Bill Murray, which I'll talk about next week on my long box.
Okay.
But this week, you're like, will you fucking say it? This week it's Black Sheep with Chris Farley
Love it.
and David Spade. Now, I remember when this movie came out, and Tommy Boy is a legitimately good movie. I think I've talked on air about like how good, like, you know, when they all, you know, are congregate to like see, you know, if his dad's okay, and then they come away and they're at his funeral. You know what I mean?
There's emotional beats.
Well, it's a good movie, but then I told you about how in the beginning the girl, the love interest says talks about her brother being a cop.
Yeah.
And when she sees the people like being all fake and making out at the airport, she goes, "I need to speak to Dwayne Brock, please."
Yeah.
Because that's her brother. It comes back, right?
Call back.
No, but
Yeah.
it's a good
movie, yeah.
right? Black Sheep came out, and everybody, you gotta understand that this was right after basically Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Well,
A double shot from Adam Sandler that are both solid fucking movies.
Also,
I know Roger Ebert's spinning in his grave with me saying that they're solid movies.
well, it's because Paramount and Lorne Michaels have been working together for a long time. Because they at this point they'd already also had 2 Wayne's World movies.
yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm not saying like
Wayne's
these were the
World.
first SNL movies. No, but I'm saying
no,
like
but that's what I mean. Like, so
for
to
a
have
box office draw from SNL, you know, Sandler had just done the double top, right?
yeah. But that's what I
And-
mean. Like,
yeah.
with Mike Myers and Sandler, like they
Sure,
were doing that.
Yeah, and Mike, yeah, exactly.
And then Chris
so,
Farley had Tommy, and David Spade had Tommy Boy.
So the thing is,
So this is their follow up.
right. But here's the first thing about the movie that makes no sense. I don't know who decided on who the 2 guys' names would be. I almost said Sparley and Fade. Farley and Spade.
Sounds like a fucking football play.
Sparley and
All right, we
Fade.
need Spider 2.
Sparley,
Farley
Fade,
Fade
and
on
cheese,
1-on-1.
cheese dicks. Okay.
Why do you? Why? Why? Why is
No.
it always penises?
No, I think it's Chris Farley's character is named Mike, and I think David Spade's character is named Steve.
I don't know.
And-
I don't remember.
No,
the
no,
names.
I do, but I'm saying like those names don't work for those guys. I don't see Chris Farley as a Mike, and definitely not in this movie. And it is right off the bat, their characters are named poorly. And then the other thing is it's edited together poorly. It's a piss poor follow up to a legitimately good movie in Tommy Boy, and they were trying to get lightning in a bottle again.
I disagree. I enjoy Black Sheep.
Black Sheep is not. Watch it again, dude.
It's not a good movie,
That's what I'm saying.
but
is it entertaining at parts?
It's 90s.
Yes.
It's 90s bad.
Sure, but yeah, exactly. Like the first 30 minutes of the movie is him trying to deal with his brother and his brother trying to like keep him away and I almost said Sparley and Fade again. David Spade.
Sparler Fade Banana
Spade.
Spider 2.
David
Look.
Spade figuring out, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go to the cabin and then that's the next half hour.
So much comedy in that half hour.
What?
So
It's
much comedy.
terrible.
It's amazing.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is the worst. Oh my God.
When
it's
he's
not
rolling
even
down
funny.
the hill.
No.
Oh my.
Okay, actually, that
what
part
the
is
hell
hilarious.
was that
That
about?
part, yeah, that part is hilarious. But then he also pulls out the thing and puts it in the mailbox
Yeah.
because he's working on voters.
What about the part where the bunk falls? Come on. There's some. It works
The
for
part where the kids drive up and spray him with a fucking fire extinguisher, and then he's like, "Oh, at least you didn't shove it up my butt." And then they drive like it's implied that they're gonna chase him and do it. Okay,
Yeah.
it's poorly edited together, like really bad, right? It doesn't make sense. And then later on, they show Spade, and he's got a bunch of fucking fire extinguisher shit on his ass, implying that these kids forcibly shoved up a fucking fire extinguisher and shot a bunch of shit in his butthole. But maybe just on his pants. I don't know. But the point
Yeah, I
is
don't
it's
know,
poorly
dude.
done, and the humor is not very funny to me.
I'm not saying everything works,
I'm-
but I'm saying
the
cabin stuff.
I don't.
When I think of that movie, I think of the cabin shit, and that is the part that I like the most.
Well, I'm glad that you like that movie,
The
but
bat-
this is my long
dude,
box.
when the bat
Oh my
flies
God.
in,
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'll throw it in here into the refrigerator. That's moths, you dumbass.
No, it's
Bowl
not
of chocolate
that funny.
pudding in my underpants.
It's not that funny.
Hey, you know what?
And you know what?
You know what?
can also tell that he's pretty much high throughout the entire movie.
Well, yeah.
It's bad. He
Have you
wasn't
seen
in
all the-
Tommy
have you-
Boy.
Hey, this is the beauty of comedy. I enjoy it. You don't. That all of you are saying perfectly fine, perfectly valid. but I enjoy that movie.
Also, I'm gonna talk just as much during your long box.
oh fuck
Fucking
off,
dickhead.
fuck you. I think you interrupt me way more than I interrupt you on these segments.
True. But here's one thing I will
I thought we
give.
were having a spirited debate.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care that much.
Yeah, we're just bullshit.
But one thing I will give Tommy or Black Sheep credit for is the moment when he gets kicked out of the rec center, right? Because the current governor, like kicks him or has him fired because they're trying to get him to screw up and make Tim Matheson look bad because he's ahead of her in the polls, right? That's generally the plot of the movie, is that they're trying to get Mike, who is a general screw up, to basically be himself, right? Yeah. Anyway, he just gets kicked out, and he's like, can I have a moment to get all my stuff together? And one thing that a lot of people said about Farley, like a lot of comedians of his size, like Belushi, Candy, all three of them, and others, all want to do. They don't want to always be the funny fat guy.
Yeah.
They want to do drama. They want to spread their wings, right? And it's noted that Belushi did do drama, Candy did do drama, and Farley has this moment where he's like tearing up, looking at all the stuff on the walls, and it's actually really poignant. And you can tell you're like, this is him like doing his thing and saying like, hey, I can do this too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will give that piece of turd movie credit for.
Kill Whitey.
Also,
What a scene.
also, I didn't make it through the whole movie, so I haven't gotten to that part. But almost,
Fuck you then.
but almost here.
What about the part when they got pulled over because they're high on nitrous?
Oh my God, the ROADs. Yes, that's okay. Whatever.
It's me off, Jack. Jack me off. Come on, there's some good bits in this
I'm
movie.
aware. Also, Almost Heroes, his last movie, is
It's, again, shitty movie, but I love it. I love it.
really.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a train wreck. It's so entertaining to me.
Have you ever watched Wagons East?
How insane that movie was.
Have you seen Wagons
No.
East? That's Candy's last movie. And let me just tell you, that's a fucking insane like train wreck in terms of like editing and shit. It makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
There's parts where it's snowing and the next day it's like sunny and beautiful. And it's like, what's going on here?
I liked pretty much every movie Chris Farley was the star of. I even liked Beverly Hills Ninja.
I know you did, you fuck.
And it's a terrible movie.
Ugh. Why?
Holy Shinto! That gay.
I will say,
R.I.P.
once again, Miss Farley.
His story is so fucking tragic. It really is.
Oh, and his two brothers are in Black Sheep when he tries to be the security guards.
Mm-hmm.
The security guard. I need you to move out of this vector. Get into a different quadrant.
His bugs just crashed into my windshield, man. It was like, can't stop, don't wanna ice. I will defend that movie. I don't give a shit. All right, now my turn. And you can talk as much as you want. You
Piss on it. Dingle, dangle.
No, I actually
Wieners.
I enjoyed that because you and I usually have the same taste in movies, so it was nice to have a conversation about a movie that we don't necessarily agree on.
Hang on. Before you move on to yours, I just want to make it clear. Like, I don't hate Black Sheep, but
I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm sorry, but if you compare Black Sheep and Tommy Boy,
Tommy
which
Boy's a better movie, no doubt.
I know, and you don't really want to compare them, but they're supposed to basically be the follow up to each other. You know, the ones that follow up. Right.
Black Sheep is a spiritual sequel to, or spiritual
Kind of,
successor, or whatever
right?
word
Yeah.
you want to use.
If that's that makes sense. But yeah, that's why it's so disappointing, because it's like, if that's the way you were gonna go with Tommy Boy, like that,
Gary
route,
Busey's in Black Sheep.
That's true. You can't beat that. I mean, he does lose his car running away from Gary Busey in the beginning.
All right, so my long box is a show on FX, and it's also on Hulu. This is another show that I didn't expect to binge through, because as you know, I talked about how my wife and I we're at this point where like a lot of the shows we liked have ended. So then we find a new show and then we latch onto it and then we like binge it, and then because there's only 2 seasons of it, and I think we're like halfway through the 2nd season of The Bear is the show.
It's coming back or no?
I'm sure it
there a
is.
third season?
Well, who knows with the strike and stuff.
Oh, right.
But the first season is 8 episodes, and I think the second is 8. It might be 10, but I'm pretty sure it's like 8. But
Good review so far.
no. Well,
jackass.
that's why it's so easy to binge, because there aren't a ton of episodes.
That's why.
But what I like about it is, so like this whole plot is there's this guy named Carmen. He is a really good chef. He worked at some of the best restaurants in the world. He inherits his brother's old shop called the Original Beef Sandwich, or the Original Beef in Chicagoland or whatever. And he always wanted to work there. He always wanted to work with his brother, but he never let him work there or whatever. So like it was a big deal that he got this restaurant when his brother commits suicide. Like you don't see that on the show, but that's why he's gone in this story. And like and it's John Barenthal, so you see him in like flashbacks at certain points. But like it's such a interesting show because it's such different storytelling than I'm used to with the TV shows that I watch. Like it feels like it was shot like a movie, where it was all shot in there's some long shots with no dialogue, or there's long montages with just music, and like it just feels like, and it's shot in like a widescreen format, so it just feels like you're watching these like, didn't feel like episodes, just feel like a part of this longer narrative, this longer movie. And season 2, where I am now as well, it's kind of like that. And it's just a solidly written show. Like the dialogue is funny and witty, but it's also believable. And it like some of the choices it makes are like such a bold thing, and like they'll completely change a style for like, I'm not gonna spoil anything in case you do eventually watch it. But in the season finale,
You don't fuck with me.
there's a whole
Beats
segment.
time, motherfucker.
There's a whole. The episode starts with a whole segment of him, the main character Carmen, doing like one of those like pay-per-view like arcade programming, like set it and forget it, like fucking made on from TV. He's doing that, and then the crowd's applauding and everything, and he gets ready to cook, and then like all of the items in the kitchen start disappearing, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's happening? I keep losing my stuff." Oh, before that, he's like, "Oh yeah, I inherited this restaurant from my brother who fucking put a bullet in his head and left his brother," like he was like lashing out about his brother. And then it showed the next scene, and then he wakes up out of the nightmare because the thing was burning down.
What's gonna happen to me after these Cheetos?
Pretty much, it's what happened to your butthole. And then he wakes up and then goes to a meeting, and he talks about his brother's drug addiction, and like goes on this really long monologue. And this is what's so interesting about it, and how I just love, and why we need to pay these fucking writers, and where we are in TV, because it's like we are so spoiled with such good TV shows. And like this monologue that he goes on is literally just and this is what's so good. This is when you have good writing and good direction and good actors, where you can set a camera on someone and they just talk, and it's compelling, and his whole monologue is heartbreaking and brilliant, and it's acted perfectly. Sorry, I was gonna cough. I wasn't cracking because I was about to cry, but very good movie, or very good show.
You know what happens?
Can't recommend it enough.
You know what show that happens in a lot?
Barry?
The Wire. Also, Barry's a
Excuse
great
me,
binge
sorry.
because it's 30-minute episodes.
No, I should watch Barry because it's, like I said, 30-minute episode.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
It's funny as hell.
You're funny as hell. You know what?
Ew.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do that, and then we'll do a Barry podcast. How's that? Off panel, off Barry.
What are you doing to Barry?
I'm getting.
So I'll leave you the ghost pepper
Excuse me.
puffs, but I'm taking the squeak.
No, you son of a bitch.
You're taking none of it.
You will leave my home with nothing. Nothing.
Or I will.
What? You'll what? You'll.
I don't know. So what's going on? We got a lot going on next week, don't we?
Look what.
I have no idea, actually.
We're bringing back an old segment edited for TV. Remember that? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do another? You know what we should do? Well, here's the thing. I'm
Why
realizing.
am I doing this? You're keeping these.
Yeah, give me my fucking chips, you bastard.
Cheeto stealing bastard.
Oh yeah.
You want some of this? Okay, so what are we talking now?
I was just saying that next week we could also bring back RoboCop Palooza, or
We'll see. I mean, maybe we might get a
we'll do
whole
the Pride of
news
X-Men for you, since you want to do that.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Wow. You're on to Marvel. That's the episode. I said, hey.
What's my mouth? It's the
Stop eating the food on the mic. You just once. Just once. Professionalism.
No.
Put your pants back on.
Well, it's hot in here. There's not going to be a better ending than that one. Oh, panel off topic with Jake and Tyler.